Ladies and gentlemen, we officially have Tropical Storm Cristobal starting to churn in a Central American Gyre in the very deep south part of the Gulf of Mexico. And are your Cajun spices tingling? Because models are starting to lock in and they think it's going pretty much straight to New Orleans. Now, a lot of things can change. This thing isn't scheduled to make landfall for about 5 more days. So, my initial estimate, like 10 days ago, was that it would be Category 2 hurricane and that it would move into Florida. So, we'll see how close I am. And I got about 48 hours left, 40, in my monthly fundraiser. And so I got a fundraiser for hurricane season June going on. If you would like to contribute, you can send me snail mail. That would be greatly appreciated. I got a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron, and I got $1,144 left to go in to raise in about 40 hours. So any help you could send my way would be greatly appreciated, because I won't be getting much sleep this month because there's so much going on. I'll be working tirelessly to bring you great information all the time. This is going to be a super flooding rain event for a large portion of the Gulf, regardless of its intensification. But I do want to say the only class above tropical storm is a hurricane. So I would guess with 4 or 5 more days for it to intensify, we're definitely going to see a hurricane, man. And this is a very scary amount of moisture. And so I think the whole Gulf Coast is going to get doused. Strangely enough, even though the model span goes anywhere from mid-Texas to Alabama, Mississippi, the 7-day QPF continues to show the base shaft of Florida is at the Panhandle, getting the majority of the worst of the rain. And so we're definitely going to have to keep our eyes on this one. But it's going to be a major flooding event for a lot of states in the Gulf. The GFS has it making landfall around New Orleans on the 7th, and it puts most of the heavier rain off to the east, going to Florida. This would be a tropical storm. The CMC Music Factory has it hitting Louisiana about the heel in a very big storm on the 7th, keeping most of the rain on the counterclockwise side, which would be, as it goes counterclockwise, it would be this side. It's the CMC Music Factory model. On the 7th, the NavJam has it making landfall in New Orleans as almost a Category 2 hurricane, because Category 2 is 980, this is 986. And so this has it as a major, massive storm. And remember, this thing would be a slow rotator. And so as it comes up and rotates, it's going to just spray the entire Gulf. And the Icon has it as a Category 2. And if you'll notice, the Icon has another hurricane coming up. Would it be Dolly? I think we're going to see Dolly within 10 days of this making landfall. That is a gut instinct feeling. And usually my gut does pretty well if I don't try to predict things from a year out. If I just try to predict things from 2 weeks out, usually I'm pretty solid. Anyway, this would be a Category 2 at 974 millibars of pressure. And it would take it into the heel where Texas and Louisiana meet. And there's what would be Dolly if that were to verify. We're taking them one at a time. But I can tell you my Jedi sense tells me, now we're probably going to see a very nasty hurricane season. And look at the size of this. This is what I've been talking about for like 10 days. That regardless of hurricane strength, it's going to be a giant, major, massive size storm. I think it's going to be a Category 2 hurricane. Nobody's really good at intensity, so these are guesstimates. And so everybody on the Gulf needs to be prepared. That would be a major storm, man. And the Euro would have it as almost a strong Category 2 storm coming into Texas, the kind of the Texas-Louisiana border, on the 7th. So we have 5 days to prepare for what looks like is going to be a hurricane. And not only is it going to be a hurricane, it's going to be a very large storm that brings a whole lot of rain. And so that would mean we'd be getting hit by our first landfalling hurricane within the very first week of official hurricane season. A lot can change. Hopefully, atmospheric defense team will be able to separate the low from the precipitation, knocking it down to a tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane. But I got to tell you, worst case scenario, if the models are suggesting that it could be Category 2, then it could probably be Category 3. Just kind of like the 10% worst case rule. So I highly recommend everybody be prepared, be aware. It's going to get cray-cray. This afternoon, the states who have been in the breaking of the dams or the worst of the riots are going to be under tornado watches. That's weird. But the ensembles are pretty much in agreement. It's going to kind of go straight up and would make landfall in Louisiana. I'm not saying it's going to be definitely a hurricane. I'm not saying it's definitely going to make landfall in Louisiana. I'm saying is a lot can change in the next 5 days. But I would definitely be getting ready for this thing. And unfortunately, it looks like 2020 is going to be a nasty hurricane season. 2020 has pretty much been a nasty season for whatever season it is. So, and for the horror film aspect, we got an amazing triple waterspout formed during sunset over the Philippines' longest inland lake. A waterspout is an intense funnel-shaped cloud that forms over water. They typically disappear shortly after forming. But yeah, this is just kind of adding a little creepiness to the forecast. Philip Klotzbach letting us know that in the Bay of Campeche it has formed, and it is the third Atlantic named storm of 2020 season. This is the earliest date for an Atlantic third named storm formation on record since 1851. So how many more signs do you need of a wild, 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 crazy hurricane season? I am your Planetary Defense Commander. I will be doing my best to give you guys the best information. I did give you a 10 days heads up, and I'll do what I can to do that all season. And if you could support me, I survive solely on contributions and donations. Asterisk, sometimes I do get money through my YouTube CashApp, or what is it, chat, super chat. That comes in the 21st. So, I got a snail mail here, a PayPal, a Venmo, a CashApp, a Patron. I got $1,144 left to go, with 40 hours left. And I got to say super thank you to Athena, Renee, Jorel, Lightsoul, Lynn, Patricia, Paula, Trisha, Matthew, Mary, Rachel, Tawny, Jenny, Mitch, David, the Shermanator, Freddie, Bezitis, Jose, Super Jess, and Ceciri, plus that one person from Mystery Super Chat. Y'all are amazing, fantastic, awesome, super, and the reason I keep doing this. And I love you guys. So stay cool and get ready for a wild, wild, wild middle act 2 of 2020. Peace out. God bless everyone.